One of my biggest challenges with writing is that I really do not enjoy the plotting aspect, the outlining and timelines and spreadsheets. I just want to tell stories. I want to write beautiful prose to bring worlds and characters to life. That's the fun part. Plotting just feels like homework. Well, if we haven't met yet, my name is Cody. I am a musician and storyteller from Canada who decided in my 30s that it's finally time to get serious about pursuing this lifelong passion I've had for writing and storytelling. So I am sharing everything I learned here, inviting you to come along with me in hopes of encouraging and inspiring you to tell your stories. In the world of writers, at least from what I've seen on the internet, writers like to sort ourselves into this dichotomy of tribes. You're either a plotter or a pantser, and a plotter being someone who loves taking the time to outline and plan all the story arcs and timelines and strategize character development to fully lay out the story before they ever begin writing it. Whereas a pantser is someone who just flies by the seat of their pants. They discover the story as they're writing it, like they're uncovering some buried treasure beneath the empty page. And when I was first introduced to this dichotomy, I thought, I am a pantser for sure. That's how I want to write. I want to just sit down and have stories pour out of me. Let the characters drive the story and I just follow along. But I keep managing to write myself into corners and dead ends where I have to go back and do massive rewrites or do these hardcore retcons just to be able to continue moving the story forward. And the more time I spend learning this craft, the more I'm convinced that nobody can escape plotting. And I have a theory that pantsers, at least those who actually succeed in writing this way, I'm sure a lot of pantsers end up just writing really boring and nonsensical stories, but the ones who can excel at discovery writing and getting a full coherent story out of it, I believe are still following plot structures. They've just internalized it. It might even be entirely intuitive and subconscious for them. If you've ever seen really great improv musicians like jam bands or free jazz groups, it can seem like some sort of wizardry, the way that they all just unanimously lock in and start playing the same song that they're making up in real time. But usually it's not wizardry, but rather that these musicians have an incredibly deep understanding of music theory, the melodic structure, progressions, and harmony. It's because of their countless hours of study and practice that they can just walk on stage and start slapping an instrument and it mostly sounds like music. And I know this myself. Even that I can just sit down and start randomly playing some chords and it sounds like a song is the result of my understanding of my instrument and of musical structure. I'm not thinking about the chords I'm playing, I'm just doing it. Now, I'm pretty sure this is the same case with writers, that those writers who succeed at pantsing, at discovery writing, it's because these structures and beats are intuitive to them. They're ingrained in them. They don't have to plan it out or even necessarily be consciously making those decisions because they're so familiar with good story flow. They just know what's missing as they're writing, what elements have to come next. And that's where I want to be with my writing. So as much as it pains me to forsake my pantser tribe to side with the plotting nerds, I think I need to spend some time learning these structures and patterns to make stories flow and become engaging. So I've begun collecting plot structures to analyze. So far, I've discovered the classic 5-point story arc, the 7-point story arc, the hero's journey, the save the cat structure, the 3-act structure, the Dan Harmon story circle, which is like a better version of the hero's journey. I just got a book called Plotting Your Fantasy Novel from Jed Hearn, who is an author and YouTuber, and I'll talk about that once I'm a little further into it. I'm going to give some real time and effort to learning this like I gave to learning music. I'm going to try to dissect the structure of stories I love in the way that I dissected to learn the songs that I love. I want to get these story structures internalized so that I don't have to think about it anymore and I can fulfill my dream of being a true seat of my pants storyteller. Well, once again, thank you for joining me on this adventure of pursuing writing. If you're on your own writing journey, I'd love to hear from you, hear what you're working on. I'm curious, are you a pantser or a plotter, or have you never even really considered it before? You can leave a comment here or check the description for other ways to contact me, as well as maybe some other cool links. Do I need like a sign off? I feel like I need like a go and write or like how do people do YouTube?